Alright, so my investor time Muriku Zip.
Yes, so I joined that part. It was on false pretense. None of these people were even Christians. They were not even saved, those people.
Politics no boda
those people were not even saved. I've been lied to. We started having problems. I was now, because I was coming with a very big position that I had. I now wanted to have a position in that party, and I was being blocked by people who invited me, who recommended me to the president and so on. And but I rose through and I got an opportunity to contest for elections as an MP. I wanted to be a member of parliament for Goromon South. I left my wife pregnant with our second born, and I went for elections in Zimbabwe. I knew I was not going to win, but I just wanted an experience and just have my name on the ballot paper. So in 2018, I contested for elections under that party called ZIP, and I wanted to be an MP. I lost this money. I knew I was not going to win anyway, but I just wanted to satisfy my ego. Obviously, because we had fought with my previous my ex-comrades and so on.
So you wanted to prove a point.
I wanted.
And you felt dismal.
Then after the elections, but I was accused of wanting to take over the party. I became a darling pan. Because in the people's general pan. I became a darling of many people across the country because I traveled with the president, Professor Chiyangwa, across the country doing campaigns, and I became a darling. I became loved by many. After the elections, I was accused of wanting to take over the party and so on, and I decided, what? Politics and
So from ZIP, let's move on to the next. Let's move.
But who told you about it?
Everyone I'm going to interview. Everyone, an artist, anyone. If you're gonna be sitting right next to me, I will do intense research on you. And this one.
But then that would be where do you know I went to?
Let's talk about it.
Guys, let me tell you my generals. Honestly, I was not a very good person in terms of politics. My political background is not one that I'm really proud of, But one thing that I really love is that I was able to free myself to express my mind and not allow people to suppress my thoughts, my views and opinions. You can call it flip-flopping. Some even went on to call me a political prostitute and so on. But that's fine. That's fine. It's a past I don't regret. But it's a past also I'm not very proud of. So from ZIP, they have another politics in Then one of my other comrades, we ran an eye through community work and civic society work and so on. The late Mimbai Mupunga, may you so rest in peace, approached me and says, Shelas, there is now EFF Zimbabwe. Hey!
Alright.
There is now EFF Zimbabwe. And I mean, for us Zimbabweans who lives in South Africa, who apparently has got the EFF. Everyone loves Julius Malema. Everyone emulates and loves what the EFF stands for and so on. So then Mimbai introduced me to EFF Zimbabwe. You can't be seated in the trade. You are an opinion leader. Please come to the EFF Zimbabwe. And I told my research and I told my research and I find out EFF Zimbabwe what for some reason or the other I want in.
No leader wacho ndiyakakuita sai because
No, but the leader was very good. Yeah, his name is Innocent Ndibali. He's based in the UK. Unongozova kana munhu uchingova une profile yekuti wakabva ku-MDC. MDC guy is the yanga baba chemapolitical che-opposition. Wangori national provincial chairperson, you sat in the standing committee. Ovazi kuti ndakamenda kuzipi ndikamboita candidate yeparliament. Unotodzoka kumapati madiki une ziprofile. So then I found myself joining EFF. Ndajoina EFF iya ndabva ndatorisa through the ranks. Nguva diki ndatonzi ndakambotanga ndaitwa deputy chiko. Deputy, I mean, some deputy position I was given. Deputy treasurer, I think, national. Nguva diki ndabva ndatonzi ndava national chairperson of the EFF. I did EFF Zimbabwe.
Registered to Zimbabwe.
Yes, it was a party which was parties don't get registered in Zimbabwe, but they notify their presence with ZEC. Right. So it was a party operating and doing its programs in Zimbabwe. Then I became the national chairperson where EFF Zimbabwe. I led the delegation of EFF Zimbabwe to the 6th anniversary celebrations of the EFF South Africa, Kwanyamazana Stadium in Mpumalanga. Ndakandiri head of delegation. Ndichirespectwa ndakagara kuhigh table. That was the first day I met Julius Malema in person. Tikaita dinner tese, nana Floyd Shivambu, nana Dr. Josie, Banaringo Mazlingos, because I was head of delegation. We were booked at a hotel, Tikagara, Tikaida, Kwanyamazana. Choose my delegates of Zimbabwe is led by chairperson Shelton Chiyangwa. My name was mentioned.
Alright, so
we want to acknowledge the leadership coming from Zimbabwe as led by Comrade Shelton Chiyangwa.
Yeah, if I want to that clarity, and it's like I think everybody else was watching. But I think EFF Zimbabwe, is it an extension of the EFF Yamalema or Tukutaura Mutianga in a leader why Zimbabwe?
Alright, so it's not an extension of the EFF in South Africa. Hey, to leader why Innocent Ndibali, I mentioned earlier. So what happened is that it is the ideology of the EFF South Africa which was adopted by other countries. Right. That's why we have EFF Zimbabwe, that's why we have got EFF Namibia, EFF Uganda, EFF Kenya, EFF Zambia, EFF Malawi, and kune delegates akatouya ku ma celebrations. Many countries now have EFF. It is the ideology of the EFF that which was adopted by other countries.
For example, what EFF is spreading like wildfire.
It's spreading. Yes, it is.
In a branch.
Yes. As my branch.
My branch. You got a branch of Zimbabwe branch. Simple English, alright. Simple English.
Alright.
Never branch. Alright. There you are mingling with the top of the topics.
Yes,
politics.
I mingled with them, and the next day we were even invited by the CIC Malema Kunzigana Tapeta event. Mangwana want to meet with the leadership. Yema delegates. That's when I first went to the HQ of the EFF South Africa at Winnie Mandela House. We went there for the meeting and we met. Unfortunately, CIC Malema was not there, but Floyd Shivambu was there and the entire top 6 was there. I've got photos that I got on Facebook up. Did she represent EFF Zimbabwe? So yeah, it is my political journey, guys. It is my political journey.
You've got a story to tell.
Yeah, then I fought with that Ndibali again. You know, Ndibali also started thinking I want to take over his party. I don't know why people accuse me of what, maybe because I'm loud-mouthed there or something. We ended up fighting again, and I decided, okay, this time around I was serious. Let me leave. But before I left now the EFF, before I left, that's when also issues were happening in Zimbabwe. My constitutional court, my Supreme Court, Chichi, what. Then one of the days we were told, application I get one Monzora and Tokozani Kupe before the High Court has been successful. They won that application and it has reversed all expulsions that had happened, all suspensions that had happened, and everyone who had resigned and wishes to come back to the party was still welcome, you know. So it started to move on with our lives. Then I got a call from Douglas Monzora. Shaz, courtyard yarivesa zvinhu zvese vanhu vese vakadzingwa, vanhu vese vakabuda out of frustration, vanhu vese vakasuspendwa. It has reversed everything. Munhu wese akudzokera kumaposition aanga ainawo in 2016. You see, and in 2016 I was elected the chairperson for South Africa province in the youth. Munhu wese akudzokera. Saka we need you to come back.
All right.
2 minutes. The resignation letter of EFF that Tatina Taonan. I'm an MDC by blood. Bye bye.
Then you went back.
Then I went back.
Under Mr. Monzora's leadership.
Yes, then I went back to the MDCT, which was now then led by Thokozani Kupe.
Alright.
It was then led by Thokozani Kupe as the acting president, and Douglas Monzora was the Secretary General.
Okay.
You know, and then we worked with them, and a congress was called for in December of that year. We went to HICC Congress. I attended that Congress. I voted for my preferred candidate, and Douglas Monzora became the president. I endorsed that election at the Congress, and Douglas Monzora became the president of the MDCT. And then
Okay, let me
no wonder
ask you.
people go here.
No. History, ne? It doesn't start.
Yes.
So I want to ask something. Passing at that reversal of your position to come back to MDC, were you ever going to support Douglas Monzora? Kana kuti position ndiyo yakakuite kuti mudzokere back to MDC, whatever faction yanga iripo yacho.
Okay, the truth of the matter is, I had always believed in the ideology of the MDC. I believed everything that the MDC stood for. And when I talk about the MDC, I'm talking about when MDC moved from being MDC to become MDCT and became MDC Alliance. Everything that brought about MDC Alliance is exactly and everything that I believed in, because it was fulfilling the vision of the late President Morgan Tsvangirai. Douglas Monzora was just the preferred candidate, because when he wanted to be the Secretary General, and he was contesting against Advocate President Nelson Chamisa now, and then I preferred Douglas Monzora at that time, and I voted for Douglas Monzora at that time. And you know, he has always been a person whose politics I believed in at that time. So when I was invited to come back, it wasn't really about the position that I held, but it was also everything about what I believed in. When I was at ZIP, I was not happy. I was at peace, but I was not happy, because I was red by blood. I was MDC by blood. So I would do whatever that I was doing, obviously because of frustration, but I knew that I belonged to the MDC. When I was at the EFF, I pushed for my political opinion, but I still continued to envy, I still continued to fence, I still continued to be attracted and love everything that the MDC was doing. And at that time it was now led by Advocate President James. So I was not brought back because of the position, but I was brought back because it was now my Damascus moment. Though I told me that Damascus moment, I realized that no, I should have stayed even when things got heated. I should have stayed. Differences in politics are there. You know, kusiyana kwema opinions are always there. I should have come stayed, and I realized maybe this is my opportunity to come back to the mainstream MDC. So at that time now there was now MDC-T, and now there was now MDC Alliance.
Yes.
And I had come back to MDC-T. And it was not easy for me to come back to Alliance because my comrades I took yeah, so it was my Damascus moment. I knew that I was not going to be loved, I was not going to be appreciated, but for me, I was back home.
Alright, so Mambotara Juma ideologies panapa. I remember that time, political warfare, political warfare, MDC, yokuti papa ni factions akawanda. And I believe in that moment in time, yes, you are MDC by blood, but I should also state my ideologies and like I say, Asia.
Yes.
Because there was Nelson Chamisa there was Douglas Monzora there,
yes.
And there was Washman Nube there, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yes, so my ideologies and like I say, Asiana. But it's good that you also stated that in Mimi, out of all those MDC-T or whatever alliance and whatever, mom preference in Yangengo Monzora. I'm not putting words in your mouth. I want you to just put more clarity on
Yeah, because what happened was that you know, the MDC-T was the original MDC, right? And the MDC alliance was the alliance of other political formations, where MDC was also part of the pact. You understand? So, but then at some point, the MDC alliance started to say that they are now a political party and not an alliance. You know, and obviously, Nina had been invited by Mr. Monzora to come back, and that ruling, that Supreme Court ruling, was favoring my soft landing back into the party.
Political ambition.
Yeah. But now I was chairperson, chairman. I was the chairman.
So, Kuno Kumpama, take you back your role now.
Then I took over my role, and with other comrades that were there, we started to reconvene, regroup, and so on. And I started to push. I then moved even from the youth, because the then chairpersons who were there, Sipo, Alliance. Then I was elected at an election which was held here in South Africa, and became now the main chairperson of the MDC-T in South Africa.
Wow.
I became the main chairperson, you know, a position I held before I joined my brother again, Advocate President Chamisa.
Yes, now we are at the final stage here. Flip-flopping here, political prostitution. Ngokwatati chida kusvika uko. Kuti kwatakazobvire iko kunani? Kuna Mr. Monzora tichidzokera hedu. Kunani? Nelson Chamisa, your brother.
Yeah, so you discover that in all the journey I've walked, I'm a very strong opinionated person.
Yes.
What I believe in, I want it to drive it home. We were very okay in the MDC-T, you know, as led by then Senator Douglas Monzora. We were very okay. But we also started seeing a lot of things that I started seeing things that were not resonating to what I believe in. Even though the MDC was a party that I loved and all. Because I was now the chairperson of the entire province at main level, so I was sitting as well in the national council. Some decisions that were now taken were you know, what's the correct word? Retrogressive. What? You know, they were not
pushing the agenda.
You know, yes, I don't know if the correct word. The things that started to happen in the party were very, you know, push ideology, the agenda, a party for the party to grow and so on. I sat in meetings where decisions to expel, to recall MPs were held. We would agree with parliament. I sat in those meetings. I sat in those meetings, and but also then we started to have a problem where there was no servant leadership from the MDC. Push up for personal gains and personal vendettas, settling personal vendettas, suspended, and so on. And I was strongly saying, guys, the party is still trying to find its feet. We are trying to grow the party, and you are busy suspending people, you are busy suspecting people, you are busy expelling people. This is not on. So MDC Alliance, quite a things were no longer also okay. Bad. There was a lot of infiltration. Things had gone so bad in the MDC Alliance as well, and the discussion and the agreement to abandon the name MDC totally became an order of the day. People started talking about MDC, because MDC Alliance was now getting their MPs recalled from parliament. MDC Alliance cannot teach I'm sitting me MDC, people became so vindictive in a lot of ways, and then they decided, Advocate Nelson Chamisa decided to abandon the name MDC at all, completely. And then he formed Triple C. I was driving my sister. Munom South Africa. Sister Sandra. I was driving to East London when he had a press conference, and I had put my Wi-Fi chochoropa phone, and I didn't want to miss a word, but I was also very late driving to East London. And I listened to the press conference that Advocate President Nelson Chamisa gave to the public in that year when the EFF, this Triple C was formed. And for me, ever since all the years I had known Nelson Chamisa, he had never presented to me such a clean, appetizing, promising agenda and a new trajectory altogether to Zimbabwe than what he did on that day. It was a citizenry movement that he was intending to lead. He acknowledged my differences in that press. I acknowledged and that has prolonged us to get to status and so on. He mentioned quite a lot of things, and he says, come, let's reason together. Let's sit down, come, let's reason together, hold hands, and be able to fight for justice.
Wow, that was something good.
Nelson Chamisa at that point, presented to Zimbabwe a baby which one can never reject.
Okay.
He was full of wisdom. He was just oozing wisdom in his speech. And I told myself that people must call me a flip-flopper.
Yes.
A political prostitute. I'm going with Nelson.
So you reached out?
I didn't reach out. I immediately, when I reached to East London, typed a resignation letter from to the MDC, and I said, Tatenda Taonana. Nelson Chamisa has been sent by God for the rest of my life that I've known him. He had never spoken with so much wisdom. I think he deserves to be given a chance. He is a people's darling, and he is the man who could send and who is going to be giving us a Zimbabwe that we all was envisaging for until this day. So then I joined MDC. But I'm still active in politics.
Alright. So that was your last political party joined.
Yeah, and that is still the party that I belonged. And that was my last political formation. And you all know that Advocate Nelson Chamisa is no longer he said he's no longer in politics. He has also since left the Triple C. And I don't know what is going to become of me if he announces his comeback in politics again. But for me, the journey was not a very good journey that I can be proud of. You can't be such jumping from one place to another and so on. I would have been in parliament today.
You are my political footprints.
Yes, I would have been in parliament today. Maybe I would have been a councillor, I would have been probably a mayor or something. But because of also those things, that the journey that I walked, I'm not very proud of it, but I also learned lessons and so on. But I think it is for that reason that I said I may continue to push for a political opinion, but I want to focus more on humanitarian work and things that will bring food on my table.
Okay, so moving on from politics, when I came to South Africa, specifically Port Elizabeth, specifically Papa organization is MSN. But there was always a name here in Goya. And on Shelton. So we want to know the information how did it come about?
Okay. No, thank you very much. So ZMSN, it's called Zimbabwe Migrants and Refugee Support Network. And then it was Zimbabwe Migrant Support Network. So what happened is that because I've always been an opinion leader and I've always been a person who would want to be serving the community and all. And for the longest time before we started the ZMSN, mapurisa vaingozoti kune political leaders so much that kind of issue in community, people would call us, people would call me, plus I would stand in for our people. And I would want to know how best we can help them, you know. And I also at one point in the involved with my farm worker payments. Many people want to have my farm worker payments because they got my farm worker payments. But when I my farm worker payments, my payments are fake. And people started not to be happy about it. Hard earned money and so on. So in 2018, they opened this Home Affairs Refugee Center in PE, which had been closed for more than 12 years. So when it was opened, per Facebook page, people were busy pushing information and getting inaccurate. People were busy posting information and getting inaccurate. So I decided, without having been sent by somebody, to go to Home Affairs and get information I want because I was documented. So I went there to find out, guys, news Mavra send and all. Then I got correct information. Not knowing what Muswanda came down the previous day, Mama Pinguanga went down. Mama Pingu the previous day, also not knowing the late Portia Chingoma. After I went, Nayaga went down. Apa Singazian. Saka Jagazoitika to Timan, Home Affairs that no, Imimi Zimbabweans no problem. You are not organized. My Somalians, my Bangladesh, my Ethiopians, they've got organizations that represent them. So information is easy to flow or to be forwarded to them. What to my communities, but you need to organize yourselves so that you become stakeholders with the Home Affairs. To put information my communities in. And Portia was also told with the same thing. Go and organize yourselves. So I don't about Facebook, guys. How about we start an organization in Zimbabwe? The first person to respond was Wama Pingure and Portia and many others. And that was the formation of the ZMSN. The guy Wama Pingure Tkatawa, shop Kwao. Tikazosangana na Portia musi watakasangana na Portia pa Traduna Moab takasangana naye titori pakati pekudiscussa about the idea tavatototi wanzi kune mazimbabweans about 7 vakasungwa vari kuhumud. Mazimbabweans iwayo hama dzavo dzaenda dzikanoda kuti dzivape chikafu varambirwa.
Apa iyi information yanga yauya hawo kwamuri
takaiona pagroup. Ndiani angatibatsirawo pafacebook page, ndiani angatibatsira kuti taendesera hama dzedu chikafu takarambirwa mukana wekuti tivaone. Handiti isu vatangoti guys, handiti tikutoda nyaya dzeorganization ngatitoendai kumount road kuhumud
makutoseta pesi
33 ndobva taenda paipe tatisatwa nemotikari tese 33 batarequest muna 2018 meme bataenda pahumud police station. Tasvika pahumud police station batakubvunzana manje kuti tosvika tichitisanani hatina zita toti tabva kupi. Saka zita rekuti Zimbabwe Migrant Support Network rakabuda pamazita akanga achitaurwa naPortia navamapingure neni, tikabva tataura sei kuti Zimbabwe Migrant Support Network. Ipapo tikapinda mukati ndikanotaura chirungu. Ndakataura chirungu papo
chokwamugabe
ndikati my name is Shelton Chiyangwa and with me here is Chris Mapingure and Portia Chingoma. We represent an organization called Zimbabwe Migrants Support Network. We are here to find out why you are refusing family members to give the arrested persons food. We understand that they arrested for something, they've been arrested for something, they are going to appear in court, but their welfare is important. Not allowing them to get food from outside is an infringement to their rights.
Yes, it is.
Mapurisa kamanya kati pauya vanhu panapa tikabvunzwa kuvaona tikanzwudzai hama dzavo dzidzoke dzivape chikafu. That's how Zimesen was formed. And from there on we made an invitation to others to become an organizer, to express interest. Tikatanga meeting yedu where Mr. Mapingure became the chairperson. I was the founding secretary general. Portia was the founding organizer. Maizano became the founding treasurer, and many others who joined us in various disciplines. Okay, so Zimesen
yakazoregistrwa kunyazoregistrwa.
Yes.
Formally.
Yes, Zimesen is formally registered as an NPO, a non-profit organization under the Social Development Ministry in South Africa. So we are a fully registered organization. It's now called Zimbabwe Migrants and Refugee Support Network, because we are now assisting and helping not only Zimbabweans but refugees from other countries as well.
Yes, I also want to acknowledge the philanthropic work of your organization. I was here in South Africa, Paketwa lockdown.
Okay.
And I witnessed you moving around. We didn't know each other, but I could see, like, on social networks, you were handing out food, and you did quite splendidly. So you did quite well, and I just want to say thank you on behalf of everybody who appreciates your work. And then toda kuti mumbonyaso addressa vanhu, because like I said, I acknowledged it and I'm saying thank you, but you faced so much backlash for kupa vanhu futi chikafu chemahara. Chikafu chevanhu here chikauti maitoenda motonochisosa out kuti mupe vanhu.
Yeah, so during COVID, as you all know, that during COVID time, everyone was hard hit, including us, but we were the only hope that Zimbabweans had, particularly those in Port Elizabeth. We became the only hope. And we started seeing now organizations, it started with churches giving their members my food parcels. And my church mazhinji akatozotanga tatopawo push isusu kuti guys, machechi vanhu vari kubvisa mari dzechegumi, vanhu vari kubvisa mari dzakawanda, please help. And churches started to also assist. But what we then discovered as a leadership, yes, Zimesen collectively, we saw that food parcels were now only being handed over to South Africans only. Saka takatanga kuona kuti hazvisi right social development, sasa ikungopa South Africans ma-organizations akaita sana gift of the givers vaingodirect kuma-South African communities, and yet vanhu vedu vaishanda marestaurant, masaloon, vanozviitira vanhu vasanga vasingaenda kumabasa. So we took a position as an organization tika-approach ma-organizations aya vakati no, we didn't actually know kuti kune ma-communities akadaro. Gift of the Givers was one of the first organization yakatipa ma-food parcels akawanda, and we fed people not only in PE but across the country.
All right.
We organized my food parcels across the country. Tikazotaura nema-organizations akasiyana-siyana, and even SPA yakatibatsira food. But you see, as we were doing those hand out of my food parcels, it was not easy to give everyone. It was not easy to give everyone. We used a certain criteria that we were using. Very hard hit. And when very hard hit, tanga tisingavazive taitowaudzwa muma-communities kunzi vedu vebatsire umuri tomboti tula ma-single women, tulamboti vanorwara, ma-chronic patients and so on. But it was never easy because the food was not enough. Tanga tisina kuwanda chikafu chacho. So obviously because of that, chero ma-South Africans had the same problems. They had the backlash even kunana sasa kwachinokupi vaingotukwa kunzi mukupanana pachizivano munotinyima chichichichi. It was heartbreaking because we had tried quite a lot to have our people have something to put on the table, but I accused isusu patapawo nechikafu takuendowo nehupfuwo kweduwo zvozvanzi tatova vachidzikisa pamba pavo chikafu chavanenge vakapiwa. But Gift of the Givers, their Eastern Cape director, Ainzi Trude, set me down and other leaders and they said, you see, I've got a team of more than 300 people that I'm working with. I can't send them to go and distribute food when where they are coming from are hungry.
Yes,
so what we do is we start by giving them so that they can have motivation and encouragement to go and give out. You know, so I said to Papa to 10 kg the same parcel you nasikana two. Then we donate one. Yakafana neata pa mumu. Kumbone kwanda tutu wa photo.
Wewe kandi conversation.
Iyo bese maona ngakuzikisa. Saka, but we never allowed that to discourage us. We took that as encouragement to even push more. And inini maZimbabweans kavari PE, if they are true to themselves, vanofana kuzoti ndini ndakatanga kuvaudza information yekuti vaite sign up for mari dzemagrant dzaipiwa vanhu ma750
panguva
yeCovid. Ndindakaisa malink ndikaudza vanhu vakati muchatorwa mazita, muchaitwa sei. Mari dzedzabva dzakabuda dzakatanga kubuda ari ma2.1 ma2.350, yes, ari backdated. Tikatozobuda mwedzi yakatedzana tichienda tichinotora mari dzedziya ku post office. I was the person who was encouraging people. Aive aine asylum katanga aine permit to sign up for mari dzemagrant dzakapiwa vanhu. Of course, some had that information, but I spearheaded that information. Also, takaona imwe funding food yakabva ku-IMO through the Embassy of Zimbabwe. Andimukuzvona consulate yakatisendera messages kaudza vanhu vedu venyorerai one link vamwe vakatituka vanonyepa vada kutata profile kuti vanotsvagisa mari, but mari idzodzo dzakauya vanhu vakatobatsirika during COVID.
Alright, so ndoda kunyatsobvunza your biggest highlight muri ikoko kuzimese. I might not know everything. Ukanyatsoziva your biggest, right, let me just put them 23. Your biggest highlights yekuti apa munonyatsoti apa ndakarwa apa ndimire and I came out smelling like a bed of roses.
Okay, the first one was of a university graduate that we have, and I won't even hesitate to mention her name. Her name is Ethel Mavaivai. We assisted Ethel. Her parents, her mother came to approach our office Muswa zimese ndisachambotokura a few months after our formation. Vakati mwana wangu akapasa with the flying colors, aka register, aka apply ku NMMU university, but the university is refusing to register here because anachi aslam. Kata zimese semaslam ndo zvatufambira. Batafambira aslam yake, batafambira aslam yake, batafambira aslam yake na mapingiro ndova yabuda. But aslam yake payakabuda yakabuda yake 2 weeks. Saka isusu paakaenda manje kunoregister akanzi Aslam yakati kuregister because it's only for 2 weeks. Tikaenda iko kuna mapingwire kuuniversity tikati guys makati mumi muda kuti mwana aregister aine 2 weeks aine Aslam anayo muregister muzobita deregister after 2 weeks because this asylum is going to be extended. So by law anobvumidzwa kuti aregister muregister izvozvi kana mamuregister after 2 weeks kana isina kuextendewa muita deregister. You know, we fought with the university and the university was forced to register here. And it don't register. After 2 weeks, the asylum was extended to 3 months, and it went on and on and on. After I say, I graduated with a program Nelson Mandela. I don't hesitate. We assisted Ethel on a program and out to bright students for my laptop. I traveled with Ethel to Johannesburg by bus. Tikanogara at a hotel where we were booked by Zorro Pumlan, and she was handed over a laptop. It's one of the major highlights because she is now a graduate.
All right, and all these services for free. For free.
Number 2, we were contacted by parents who had their children expelled from school in Mpumalanga. There were about 22 students, primary school students in Mpumalanga. My parents vakaita put up money together vakaisa mari takauza kuti tokona kubatsira but tinoda tichipaground but isusu we are not donor funded and so on. My parents vakaisa mari vakabatanidza mari vakatiinvita tikaenda kuMpumalanga. Tasvika kuMpumalanga tikafambira nyaya dzevana vanga vadzingwa chikoro pachikoro ipapo tikaenda kunoona district management education in that place yatikaenda kuMpumalanga ikoko kunonzi I'm forgetting the place in Mpumalanga where we went to. Kusvika mwana wese akanga asina mapepa wese migrant adzoserwa muclass kukakumbirwa ruregerero tikasiya vana vamuclass. That trip, that program that we did, we were recognized by UNESCO. I received a call on my phone from UNESCO. It was that we recognize the work that we have done and we are proud of you. We want to do a documentary. Zvakabva zvachinjisa mindset, zvakabva zvachinjisa nezvimwe nzvimbo nemama province akawanda vana vedu vakataenda kuchikoro vasina mapepa. What is number 3? Akawanda ma-issues atakaita andingati nini they were outstanding. Takabudisa vanhu vakawanda vakasungwa nenyaya dzemapepa vakawandisa. People that we assisted kuti vabudire nyaya dzemapepa vasungwa vanogona kupfuura kana 5,000.
Alright. So you started off izimesen yanga ingori kuketa for vari kusunga vari kuda information yekuti zviri mapepa ofambiswa sei anditi, and then you extended to philanthropic work, and then you extended further into doing zvinhu zvisati zvambofungira kuti zvinoitwa muno. But then I also want to address now I see so pa social media you received so much backlash yekuti tinonzwa vamwe vanotaura kuti hanzi munonotipira vanhu vekumapurazi kuti vanhu vasungwe kuti muzoenda munoti mapepa ngaagadzirwe, munoenda pahaba munoti vanhu mapepa ngaagadzirwe. Scheme is it true? Right. Mungoti is it true? Chimboiadressa nyaya because I see on social media you never address this issue. Munongoti munhu ngaagare ne side track.
All right. My sister, you know, I can tell you beyond doubt, it is never easy working with Zimbabweans. I don't know hangu kunzvimbo dzinoshandiro vangoti maZimbabweans munovaona vari vanhu vakaita sei. Backlash yatinowana, like for instance now that we are working nevanhu vekune dzimwe nyika ka, backlash yatinowana kubva kuvanhu vemunyika medu iri serious and inorwadza. Apana pandingauye kufamu ndokurudzira vanhu kuti ngatigadzirisei mapepa nenzira yakanaka. Zviri possible kuzviita kuti uzviitire ndotokudzidzisa nenzira yaunozviita uri wega handiti ndotokudzidzisa zvausingazwisise nenzira yaunokwanisa kunge uchizviita uri wega. Hapana pandingati ndadaro handiti ndopedza ndobva ndanokwenyera mapurisa kuti kana kuti Home Affairs ende munosunga vanhu pakati. It doesn't make any sense. Plus kana ndichinge ndadaro futi ndobva ndaziva kuti ndikubatsire futi kuti ubude. It doesn't make any sense. Muri kunzwisisa because isusu donzvo redu and what we endeavor and what we push for is to have munhu wese kuti ave documented in the country. But toshamisika tichitukwa ivo vanhu vachemuhamba vanoshanda mumatruck drivers and so on vanoti kana vapedza kutuka kufacebook kana mumwe wavasungwa vanotaka kufonera futi isusu. So you start to wonder manje kuti saka pandiri kunyadzotadza ndepapi munonditi ndiri kukubirai ndinokwenyera mapurisa but kana machinge mazosungwa hamene unotsvaga maloya hamene unotsvaga vanhu kuti vakubatsirei munodzoka futi kwandiri ndinozenge ndazonaka papi. So it's very sad and heartbreaking, but every other time when that it used to affect us, it used to affect even our families. You know, our families will be affected to focus on and leave these things, but it ended up giving us even more inspiration to help and touch the lives of many. But it's not easy, it's painful, and people out there who are doing it, it's so wrong. Our intentions are very pure. We want to help people.
So yes, ipapo manyaso state attention. And then kozoita vamwe vanouya vachitaura kuti zimeseni yakandijikira mari. Specifically, I don't want to talk anguna start open the Sarah Mr. Makundura because he's not yet to answer for himself.
Okay.
Yes. So about the address, I mean, kuti Mr. Chiyangwa wakajira mari yangu. Wakajira mari yangu Mr. Chiyangwa, you know. So I also want you to address kuti pane mari yemunhu yamakambodya here. Pane mari yemunhu yamakatsotsa here muchiti hai ndini ndinokusotera zvinhu zvese zvichaita. Yes.
In all honesty, apana pandakambodya mari yemunhu for no reason kana kuti kudii kana kuti kudii. Generally, most of the people vekuzimbabwe vanhu vanongori neruvengo vamwe vacho negodo chairo chairo murikuona of the work that people do. Like I said, Zimbabweans payakatanga handiti takaitanga as a non-profit organization, but we did not manage to get funding. Murikuona zvakafanana nemamwe maorganizations akafanana na RRE avana Nelson Mandela Refugee Rights Center.
Yes,
those people are donor funded and nanhasi vanobati provide maservices avo for free. Takaramba tichidzokera kuvanhu vaive vari mamembers eorganization toita sei basa tori kuti wandira plus patinongoparitira panoda kubhadhara kuti we need offices, we need internet, we need equipment, we need things, and people said no, but start charging for your services. So takataka kuchicharge maservices plus mamwe maloya ataishanda nawo neatinoshanda nawo maservices avo they are paid for.
Saka apa ma-include vanhu vemunhu
manje. Maloya ataishanda nawo.
They will not be so like so understanding like yourself.
Yes.
You are sacrificing your time, your resources on your own people.
Yeah.
Uyu munhu akatoenda kuchikoro kwaya kutoda kubhadharwa for basa.
Yes. Saka ndova taino approach kuti vatibatsire pama-various cases anenge achiitika. Saka we started charging services and takataka kuudzwa mikana yekuti kana munhu asati ava nebepa rake zvizvo anofanira kunge ainazvo akamirira kuti bepa rake riite kuitira kuti asasungwe. Ndopataitira vanhu ma-affidavits aya nanhasi tichiri kumaita and so on, and we were charging a certain fee. So unongoziva kuti vanhu vekumusha moti aingofungwa kuti kudii, vanhu vekumusha vanogona kungofunga kuti pamwe zvandabhadhara saka bepa rangu raibva richiita mangwana. Saka some of the cases, every case diffaka. Dzimwe nguva zvimwe zvinokurumbidza. Tine vanhu vakawanda vanopfuura 10,000 across the country vatakabatsira kuvana mapepa avo vakabata mumaoko, who can testify kuti takabatsirwa neoffices imesenga kuti takabatsirwa nageneral handiri kuzviona vakabata mapepa avo mumaoko vachitomawana. Saka vanhu vaizoti kana zvinhu zvake zvanonoka, dzimwe nguva pamwe zvisina kunonoka obva aindobva anorejectwa nezvinhu zvaanenge ataura ega, kana kuti obva asungwa asaine bepa ratenta mubatsira raanenge akabata, because paunosangana nemaposa amwe havazonzwisise. Andingona anoona mapurisa 3 amboya panapa kuti vane mumwe mupurisa wainaika mwana kake musikana kake achangobva college mwana wayo anoti amuziva paari pape nezveimmigration.
Saka zvinoda kuti zveniwo paunoexplaina une full knowledge for children.
Haana chaanoziva nezverefugee mwana uyoyo. Akangotumwa kunze nomusunga munhu asina mapepa akasangana nemunhu asina asylum yacho chaiyo kana kuti asina permit yacho chaiyo anogona kusunga munhu ane proof of application. Akatozonobudira kukoti kana akatozomudira kumapolisa. Saka ndomakesi dzatakapedza tapaakizwa kunzi ndazosungwa sei nemapepa iwayo, ndazosungwa nechi, saka muri mbavha mudya mari yedu chichichi. Asi Mwari ave nemi maZimbabweans. Mwari ave nemi for what we have done for this community, particularly Port Elizabeth. Nedzimwe nzvimbo dzakawanda dzakaita. Dai Mwari akutongai.
Aiwa tizodaro munonamata kai.
Aiwa ndonamata but zvinorwadza. You see.
Tino. Mvura inobva musika tiwashawe maZimbabweans.
Zvinorwadza. Yes, honestly zvinorwadza because we try our level best to be there for our people, but tobvatanzi imbavha vakatidyira mari dzedu vakadi but kutaura chokwadi to answer you hakuna munhu akabhadhara service yake tikangosamuprovide service yake. Zvimwe zvinononoka, zvimwe zvinokurumbidza, vamwe takavapa marefund, vamwe tisina kuvapa marefunds because pane rimwe basa raitwa. If you look at all these files there that are here in my office, if you look at them, it's work that is in progress. Munhu akandifona kuti save zvaita file rake richiri padesk pangu apa. I may not have answers, but haagona kuti saka chindidzoserai mari yangu because pane part of the work that has been done already. Saka ukazoti handikwanise kudzoserai because tine rimwe part of the work zvotonzi muri mbavha makaba mari yangu. maZimbabweans zvamunotaura zvinotirwadza.
Maona mukana wekuvaudza. All right, so yes, I can see Zimeson is still there, but we are sitting in a different office. Is it Zimeson?
Okay, so Zimeson is still there, but we are sitting in a different office. So then I started the People's General Foundation through my page, the People's General Shellers. Obviously, as I was working with the Zimbabwe Migrant Support Network, I started to also want to pursue and push for my brand. So this office belongs to the People's General Shellers, but it is now owned by my company called BGS, Migration and Legal Services. So Zimeson is an organization which is established and it is still there, and it has its meetings in this establishment and in other places that we decide. But this office is definitely and solely now fully administered by myself through the People's General Foundation and BGS, Migration and Legal Services.
Okay, so for those who are slow to understand, Zimeson, you are still there?
Yes.
But this is your baby.
Yes. Saka kuZimeson ndichiriko ndichiri Secretary General, and Zimeson is still existing, but this is now my establishment. This is now my personal establishment and company registered. What documents registration as our own but obviously this is now my registered company, BGS, Migration and Legal Services, and as well as the People's General Foundation.
Okay, can you state the services that you offer?
Okay, so here in this office we offer all immigration services and refugee services. We do consultants, right? So tinobatsira vanhu kuapply for my permits, various permits, all other permits. Tinobatsira vanhu kuapply for my asylum, kuita ma-appeals ema-asylum, kuita ma-judicial reviews ema-asylum, and all other legal services zvakafanana nezvema-ban under immigration as well, kulifta ma-ban, kuita ma-applications, police clearances, and different any other legal services that you may need. If you come to our offices and we are unable to do that, we've got a pool of attorneys that we work with and advocates we work with who also will assist you for you to get all the services that you need. Panukasvika ausina kuva documented zvachose.
All right. So I also wanted to ask kuti mune mamwe business interest besides because it seems as if your focus is here now documentations or that's a topic for another day.
No, I'm a coat of many colors. Shanda with Department of Justice as an interpreter. So I'm employed by the Eastern Cape Justice Department. They told me pay some number, they told about government payroll. The interpreter, a job that I've been working for from 2016 until this day. So that is work that I do. If you look at my diary, my courts, I'm responsible for up to High Court. I work up to even High Court and all the courts in the Eastern Cape. That's number one. And also that BGS, which I also do. Then number three, I'm also running Brilliant Touch recruitments and placements. Brilliant Touch it's a recruitment and placement agents. We assist placement of domestic workers, ma nanny, ma au pair, ma gardeners, ma farm workers and cleaners. And it sakapana pogo check bus. Ukapinda mu database read bus on one. Tinochagira on mabasa. We are an established recruitment agents, which is also helping people quite a lot in getting mabas. Last year, one day, because when I started the company, in this company, Brilliant Touch, I'm directors with my wife. So when we started it in 2023, Takapesa one 3 cheje per mabasa, but last year we placed close to more than 40 something people per mabasa. This year we are intending to place more than 200 people at various workplaces. The reason why I formed or I started this company is because and I realized, of course, my and one and Chingoma refer to post up Facebook, one, but we never company. I don't
my agents. Yes.
My agents. So I can do to.
Yeah, so
those are supposed to ground man.
The opportunity.
Those are supposed to ground man. Because they do like the bus, but then I'm trying to check the bus and get free.
Yeah, and this rejection. This is come we want to
no one has. So then no one Shakawanda. You take some from my pete, my perfume from my boxes. My mushong little phytomed. You take some phytomed. Motor mamega, Amakazala should take a phytomed negerimo, to take some perfume and garimo, to take some sugar in my pete, unengorimo.
Timbo, nam sugar my pete.
Joma Peto would put off it, but the never perfume is not a phytomed. I'll show you. Do not take some products, yes, why I am. Mushongo mapeta usisipo but how should I fight to made it's a product that I sell on my perfume very cheap my velvet iwaya saka mumotkana mangu amshaye chino zvinhu zvese zvinenge zvakazara chazopewa gift yenyu vepa podcast kuenda muchinyorera chakupepa nemunyochuzo yamunoda pane chikadzai
maita basa Chiyangwa
saka ndinoita zvakawanda plus I'm a brand ambassador where Moonlight global and funeral repatriations. Moonlight identified me last year and said no, they are happy with the work that I do and the connection that I have with the people, and for that reason they want me to be their brand ambassador. So I'm a brand ambassador for Moonlight Global and Moonlight Funerals and Global Repatriations kubvira last year. Ndokunoona futi kwandobhadhirwa every month tichikurudzira vanhu kuti vave nemafuneral policies, kuti munhu wese zvakakosha kuti ave nepolicy yake yaanenge akagadzirira kuti kana rufu rwazouya uve nepeace of mind, and with Moonlight we light your way to final destiny.
Alright, so ndakambonzwa futi kuti mune muchitaura zvechikoro.
Yes, so I'm also a brand ambassador for Purpose Finder. You see, this is a certificate that I was also given in recognition to the work that I do with that school. This is a school that is run by Zimbabweans. Chikoro chine chema Zimbabweans chinoita curriculum ZimSec. Chinoita ZimSec.
I say Cambridge.
neCambridge vanoita Cambridge senezimsek vanhu ava ndakavazira kuCape Town pandakaenda kuCape Town ndikaenda pachikoro chavo chiri kuMontagu Gardens ndikaona kuti panapa pane zvinhu zvakanaka and many of our children in Cape Town are benefiting from this school. Ndikavaudza kuti ndogara Port Elizabeth, we don't have such an establishment. We have PE. PE. Their first students were signed up and registered in our offices in Mesen. It was with the school now has more than 1,500 students. So I'm also a brand ambassador for Purpose Finder group of schools.
All right. So that question was just putting more address. You've got so many streams of income.
Yes.
But when you the life you are living is because you've got many ways to earn money.
Yes.
All right. So you're my address. And then I recently found out Uzoni, you're now diving into fashion.
Yes. So yes. So go ahead.
Yes. Ndakaona you were advocating for the boy child.
Yes.
And you recently held a pageant.
Yes.
So can you tell us more about that?
All right. So I'm a coat of many colors. Like I said, and I don't hesitate to tap into an opportunity that I get. Whenever I get an opportunity and I think and I see that I've got the means to do that or to push for it, I jump on it. So I started being involved with fashion and pageantry. Sometime last year, I've got an uncle, one of the renowned designers in Zimbabwe, Nandi Leret. Nandi Leret has dressed your who's and who's in Zimbabwe. So vakaita fashion show kuno ku PE, and then she told me Dumana, I'm coming ku PE tine fashion show ndipata kuti aimimi ndita mutombofana kuti ase kugara kana kuhotera munogara kumba, but obviously they were already booked and vavauya vavati invite. Saka it was a fashion week. Saka seeing the work that he was doing, we have always known Chikurot, he is a fashion designer and so on, but we had never made any efforts to go and see the work that he does. But then we saw the work that he was doing and so on, and people that were involved there, and I realized this can be another opportunity one can explore, and I loved it. I also love to dress nicely, I love to be looking good.
Yes, you see that.
So for that reason, I developed an interest. So as I developed an interest, I started to probe more into it and I made friends. Then I was invited again for another fashion week after that one, where I was an MC at the Eastern Cape Fashion Week. And that's when I made a lot of friends. Then I became interested and I was invited to be a part of Mr. Body Beautiful. And I was a part of Mr. Body Beautiful just as an observer. And then I became a partner. I was appointed at one time to become the public relations manager for Mr. Body Beautiful. I conducted pageants throughout the country, PE, Johannesburg, and Cape Town and Durban, And when I left Mr. Body Beautiful to pursue other things, I was invited again by other friends to be a part of Mr. Heritage South Africa. And also I met another friend who invited me to be a part of Mr. and Miss Empowered Youth. So I became more interested through these friends who are South Africans, and they were telling me that you can do it. Those are the people who encouraged me to establish the pageant in Zimbabwe. So I applied for that international license. Is it an international license?
Yes, I saw you posted that.
Yes, I applied for international license in last year, and it was granted in around July. And we organized a national pageant in Zimbabwe. It was big. It was huge. It went very well.
You marketed it so well.
And it was amazing. The winner, Munashe Sianata from Gweru, is going to go and represent Zimbabwe in the Philippines this May.
Wow.
The first runner-up, Kundai Matemba, and the second runner-up, Samuel Msarurwa, are going to go and represent Zimbabwe in Indonesia. I'm so proud of myself. This was my first event in Zimbabwe after having left Zimbabwe many years ago. It was a success. I was on national TV.
Yes, I saw that.
I was in the newspaper. I was on the Daily Sun, Daily News. Prior to the event, can you believe it?
No, nothing is that.
And I was on the national TV.
Yeah.
Ndasanga nemwe munhu nhasi kugrinekazi manje so somebody that I met mumwe muzukuru wangu so akati hey general ndakadzoka musi wa1 kubva kuholiday ndakakuone paTV. I want to thank God.
So now we see Shelton Chiyangwa is a jack of all trades.
Yes.
Nachaanoti chandipinde akatangira kumusika ari kuchitungwiza and now he has yes akapinda mupolitics kuno maitengesa nditi
yes.
maifamba muchitengesa kuno kusouth Africa
ndakatengesa mabasket
and here you are.
Thank you.
Here you are a brand ambassador where several companies and service providers. So ndinomboti muhonyatsotaura kuti how do you feel because when munozoti pane mumwe munhu anoti inini my life is stagnant ndiri panzvimbo 1 I'm not even moving zvandandingori 20 years ago ndo zvandichingori but we see you are moving zvishoma nezvishoma. It might not be exactly what you want. Kana kuti mukatarisa looking back, you might say, I regret this, but at least it was movement. So I just want you to tell the people, how do you do it? How do you wake up? Apa matombotaura mukati makatombosvika pakuti you were traumatized nenhau yebacklash yesocial media, but here you are, you're still moving. So give us a word. Nyangwe inino kuti ndichatombosvika pamwe kuti pamwe ndichatombotukwawo. So give us a word straight as here.
I can tell you beyond doubt, I really appreciate God for what I have become. And I know that had it not been for God, I would not have been here today. I wake up in the day, all days for me are not the same. Some days are very blue and exciting, but some are very down and bad. I go to bed at times very exhausted and happy with winnings and good stories, but sometimes I go to bed very discouraged, disappointed and angry after backlash and so on, or even failure to have achieved some other things. But I want to thank God for sustaining me. I don't get discouraged right now from being insulted on social media. Apana chatisina kutukwa pa Facebook.
Apana chakusurprise.
Apana platform yatisina kuiswa. Ukaona uri mu socialite kana uri munhu anoita zvinhu pa Facebook, ukasurvive mafira kureva.
Wakunda zvese.
Aiwa wasimba. Ukaona wasurvive mafira kureva Ghost Nation. Watokunda. So I've been trolled, I've been called names, I've been called all sorts of things. But for me, what I appreciate a lot is that there are still people who appreciate me, who recognize the work that I have done. And when you look at it, it gives me strength. Strength. And as you are starting your podcast, I want to encourage you that criticism is going to come. Backlash is going to come. Take everything with a positive attitude. Know that in everything that people say in criticizing you, there is some element of truth. Know that everything people say in terms of when they start to insult you, there will be an element of truth in what they're insulting you for. Because anogona kutuka neurema hwako nekusviba kana kutsvuka kana wokuaccusa, and there is some element of truth, but at most kana uchituka dzimwe nguva vanhu vanenge vada kukurwadzisa pasina kana element of truth. You must understand and accept kuti kana uchinge wazvipira kuenda muvanhu, those things are there. Inini izvozvo I take every insult, every criticism, I embrace it and I move forward. I have told myself, if you ask people call myself a public toilet. Public toilet. Unotopfura kuti svipaka. Ukaiona ndekana basa nayo unokuti pana pari kunowaende public. But ukaita mudumbu.
Unoishandisa.
Chero yakaita sei, it becomes a darling to you. You love it. So for me, I think God has sustained me, and grace has really sustained me, and I'm so happy at where I am today with what I've done today, and where I am. I don't get discouraged from backlash. I don't get discouraged from what people say. I just appreciate God for what He has done in my life, and I'm so happy. I have been recognized. My certificate, mama,
yes.
No certificate is kunyanya kundityisa mazuwano.
Zimbabwe Achievers Awards.
For the longest time, I have been seeing these awards being held in the country, and I was never recognized. But I don't know who nominated me for this Zimbabwe Achievers Award. Whoever nominated me, I was competing with the Nyatis.
I saw that.
I was competing with the who's and who's, but I won the people's choice. So this gives me pleasure and satisfaction that I'm touching the lives of many people.
Congratulations on your achievements.
Thank
so,
you.
we just want to rounding it up. This my interviews are two-time. It's not for celebrities only. It's not for musicians only. It's generally for everyone. Everyone. We're gonna be embracing in society. Toda kutaura relationships. Kuno South Africa chichi kuita kuti vanhu vasaroorane. Toda kutaura nyaya dzemaparents, vanhu vari kuenda through a lot kunoko, mental health, all those things toda kuzviadressa. And please keep on watching. And also I just want to address kuti since this is a new podcast, please forgive us, especially panhau yemavideos yedu. Tiri kuramba tichidzidzira as we go. Panhau yesound, we heard zvamakataura kuti gadzirisai sound. I hope this time around yakagadzirisika, and everything else we're going to improve. Equipment irikuita ichiuya zvishoma nezvishoma, and soon maybe tinenge taane studio tesisiri mobile. So back to Mr. Chiyangwa, ndangoti mutaure something to your, and I don't like the word fans, because tichiri taura really broader. Fans means a fanatic, of which is not a compliment. This one is my fanatic. So not that somewhere somehow is really a bit mental. So ndangoti mungotaura kuma followers in address
to all my followers, the 99,000 followers that I have on my Facebook, and everyone else who follows me on my page and through the work that I do. I know that more than 99,000 are also following me out there. I just want to say thank you very much for believing in the work that I do. Thank you so much for continuing to stand with me. And thank you so much for the continued support that you give me. You have chosen to stand with me regardless of what you hear or you have heard people saying or that you have seen. You believed in the work that I do. I respect you, and I humbly want and wish God to bless you and extend all your territories. I'm here, I'm your people's general. I will continue to serve you diligently without fear, and I'll continue to serve you with all humility, and together we'll change and touch the lives of many people in South Africa and across the world.
Wow. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Any feedback, ne? Manonzi Shelton Chiyangwa munaona pa Facebook.
Yes.
Instagram munayo.
Dinayo Instagram kama Shelton Chiyangwa munaiona against the people's general shellers.
Any other networks?
I only use Facebook and Instagram. Instagram is my personal platform, but for everything else about work related issues, it's Shelton Chiyangwa or the people's general shellers. You will find me there. or if you want about BGS, we've got a website www.bgs.co.za. You will also find us there, or www.brillianttouch.co.za, and found there. My WhatsApp numbers, I think they are going to flag them on this podcast.
Okay. So with that, it's a wrap. See you next time.
Thank you so much.
This